Hey everybody, welcome back to the Two Broke Gamers podcast. Ricky?
Steve.
I think I'm going to put the names on here. Well, I guess for the audio portion maybe. But anyway, we're talking about tonight now the GDC, or the Game Developers Convention of 2015. A lot of things were announced there, of course. Duh. But what we're going to focus on in this segment is basically a handful of things that came from it, like a couple of independent games that are going to be coming out, especially for Nintendo, which kind of surprised me. The awards that we're giving out for the game developers. One quick story, which we'll start off with, which we'll get into in a moment, and basically everything virtual reality. All the VR stuff from everybody, because apparently everybody's going to VR on the VR bandwagon.
Ridiculous.
So all the VR, everything virtual reality, everything augmented reality from I don't know if Microsoft even did that stuff, but whatever. But first, we want to talk about this teaser that Microsoft had, because Microsoft did do something, which was the announcement of Shovel Knight, which is just like, really? Shovel Knight is like... Shovel Knight started off as a Nintendo exclusive at first. It was on PC.
But we all knew that. We announced earlier in the year that they were branching off, though.
Yeah, they were branching off. It was like a Nintendo exclusive for about 9 months, I think. I don't even know how long. But it was for the DS, Wii U, and then PC, which is just like PC, whatever. But then Sony announced in December, Shovel Knight's coming on it. And we're also going to have Kratos from God of War in our games. Like, okay, that makes complete sense.
That's weird.
But you know what, I guess to kind of differentiate it, make it exclusive, PC exclusive, or, PS4 exclusive. How do you make it exclusive? We'll have a character that's not on the other consoles. Great. Yeah. And it's not like, that would have been it. Whatever. No one else would announce it, right?
That wouldn't be it. No.
No. Microsoft decided, you know what? Shovel Knight's coming to our console too. And guess what? You know what's going to be in the game?
Battletoads.
What?
Battletoads? Okay.
And then that kind of pisses me off because, all right, Battletoads was acquired, the rights were given back because Rare, whatnot, they decided to, have the license back for Battletoads and whatnot. And don't worry, there's a random guy back here, guys. It's okay. He's cool. He knows he's on camera. At least I hope so, right? You're cool with that, right? All right, cool. Yeah, that's all I gotta make sure, because I think we're supposed to find out if they're cool to be on camera. But anyway, Battletoads, the rights were reacquired from Microsoft because of Rare. Rare, works with Microsoft now, and it's like, okay, this is good, but are they gonna do a Conquer and Banjo-Kazooie type of thing where it's like, Conquer's gonna be in this new other game? Are they just gonna leave it like that? Like, is that it for Battletoads, or is hopefully
I hope
more
not.
coming?
I hope they actually have a Battletoads game.
I hope so too.
Hell yeah!
Because how is it that Conquer just got that game on the Xbox 360 that was basically the remade version of the N64 game, and that's it. And now they're going to be in another game, which I don't even know what it's about. I couldn't even tell you what it's about. But now they have Battletoads, which is another Rare property, and it's in Shovel Knight, which I guess naturally 8-bit, whatnot, which the little teaser show was kind of cool. I had the Battletoads theme music, and I was like, yes, this is awesome. But then that's it. But then it's just like, I hope that's not it for the actual Battletoads franchise.
No, I definitely want more Battletoads.
Yeah, this shouldn't be it. I hope not. But then again, it's Microsoft. I don't know. I have more faith, speaking of Banjo-Kazooie, that they're the spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie. It's going to be better than Nuts and Bolts or whatever else is going to come out.
Anything can be better than Nuts. I can create a video game that will be better than Nuts and Bolts. Stop it. I don't know. I know nothing about programming, and I can make a video game better than Nuts and Bolts. So
you heard it here first. So a lot of things were announced. A bunch of independent games. It's a huge list of independent games coming out for multiple consoles. I really wanted to bring up the ones for Nintendo, because a lot of PC games that were on PC are heading to Nintendo consoles, like Don't Starve and Octodad, which really just surprised the hell out of me, because I didn't expect those two titles, because they've been on PC for quite a while.
Yeah.
And now that they're coming out for the Wii U, it's like, I didn't know that was going to happen.
I thought they announced that in E3 like 2 years ago.
Really? The Octodad and all that? I actually don't even remember.
Yeah.
But it really, I guess I just might have forgotten about that. I don't know, because it just came out on PC, and it's like,
I think I remember hearing about that at E3.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it wasn't for console, maybe just announcing them, but I'm pretty sure it was Nintendo going into their little indie section, and they were talking about Octodad and stuff.
Okay, yeah, it's because I honestly don't remember that. If you're right, you're right. It is what it is. I'm wrong.
If I'm wrong, then I'm stupid. Whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But the game's coming out. All these independent games, and even a game that we've mentioned on this very program, Runbow, which basically is a game where you're running against your friends, but like it's kind of like a speedrunners type of game, but you get 9 players to play with, one more than Smash. That's why we actually brought it up, because it was like, oh yeah, there's an 8-player game with Smash, and that was like freshly announced. Because I remember
I do remember this.
Yeah, so I remember 8-player Smash was just announced, and then like a couple of days later, I read it on what I'm in Gama Sutra or some other website where they talked about this game that's 9 players. It's like, whoa, okay,
whoa, slow down, Hammer, jeez.
Yeah. Now, of course, the common comment is, I don't have 9 friends to play with.
Yeah, I don't have friends. These are my friends.
Are you like that comic on our Amiibo where it's like you're just having your Amiibos and they're all over you and you're on the ground?
My friends. I got, 6 of them here?
Yeah.
Me and my friends. You can almost fill the whole game.
Yeah. Now, if they work for Runbow, I'd actually kind of be excited for that. I wouldn't.
That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be kind of cool. But the game looks really interesting. We'll, of course, post a video to that again. But it's, I believe, coming out relatively soon, actually. And people are raving about it. It's getting big exposure right now because people are loving this concept. Not only that, but also the fact, too, that something I didn't know and I found out, that you can actually, you know how when you use the Wii Remote and you use it as a controller where you plug in like the Pro Controller or whatever the hell controller it is that you put into it, it kind of kills out the Wii Remote and you just use your actual controller that you connected it with. In this game, one person can hold that controller and have another controller connected, and that's another player.
Huh.
So basically, one person has the Wii Remote and they're using it while that controller is connected to the Wii Remote. It's actually being used for another player, which I thought was really interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, so you don't even need to have 9 controllers. You could just have like 5 or whatever, 4 or whatever, and just have them connected into each other, and there you go. You have 9 players playing each other, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah. That's cool.
Now, GDC also had some awards. One of the funny things that I noticed that Nintendo wasn't in any of them, which was kind of funny because they won basically every other award everywhere else. But I mean, it is what it is. The developers, they see something else that obviously the fans and the people who buy the games don't see. So I mean, it is what it is. The game of the year that was announced from the GDC was Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. Which, no surprise there. I mean, people absolutely rave about that game.
People love that game.
Yeah, and it's still being played to this day. People are not bored of that game. So that's
Destiny. I didn't, I shouldn't be shouting names, but,
You know I was going there, Steve. You know I was going there.
Yeah.
The best debut, Static Studio with the Banner Saga. And they've gone in other things. Funny enough, we talked about Destiny. It was given an award for best technology. So probably just maybe the OS or basically how to build up or power up, but that's technology that's there.
Yeah, it's dope.
And I don't want to go over the awards, but the list is there. We'll link it, of course. But some of the highlights that we wanted to mention from that as well. Now, virtual reality.
VR, man.
VR. Now, virtual reality is going to be big. Bigger than like I imagine, because every company's joining. Not only does Microsoft have their own version of it, which would be the augmented reality. Augmented. I guess I really meant to mess with that word, but the augmented reality, the virtual reality, which is coming from the Oculus and from Sony, Steam, Valve. They have their own virtual reality thing too, and not only that. There's also going to be virtual reality coming from the phones, from tablets and stuff that you can actually buy a headset. You put your little tablet or phone in there or phablet, depending on which one it is, and there's your virtual reality thing as well.
It won't be as cool as actual like the Oculus Rift or anything.
But I heard it's actually still really good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll have to try this stuff out. It's. I guess if you're in the right place at the right time, you can like test this stuff. But I got to be in the right place at the right time, man.
Yeah, like right now, there's actually one of the things I'm looking at right now from Oculus. They were talking about the Gear VR, which I think is coming out, which already came out actually, I think, and an updated version of the Galaxy S6. So the S6 would be compatible with this virtual reality, which which is going to be pretty cool. I don't know if it's going to play almost the same exact games. I don't know. Now Valve with their virtual reality had a Portal demo. They're working with HTC to make the Vive VR, and it's blowing some people away, especially with playing Portal or whatnot. And the experience that from what I've read is just amazing. And it's like, I mean, what the hell? I want to be able to try this stuff out. I mean,
where do I sign up?
But the thing is, I'm not going to PAX. I'm not going really anywhere. Like really, I want to be able to see what this VR stuff's all about. All the articles that I'm reading about it just seems positive. Especially even Project Morpheus from Sony, which I completely forgot about. They mentioned it, and it's like, oh, okay, we mentioned it. We're gonna have it released at some point. But Project Morpheus was there. That even blew some people away. One game that they were playing was like a shootout game, and they had like the 2 fake Wii remotes, the PlayStation Move, whatever that was called. But there's 2 of them that you're using to actually control your hands while you're using the VR, using the camera tracking too from the iToy, I think it's still called. I don't know what the hell it's called anymore. I don't even know. But you're using that to play, and that's even selling people on that too, saying that Project Morpheus has a lot of potential too for virtual reality. And
VR is making moves, man.
Sony already announced the date. They said next year it's coming out.
Wow.
Next year. Valve, I believe, they're already releasing some virtual reality stuff anyway. I mean, the S6 is obviously going to come out this year, so with virtual reality coming out for the Oculus, I mean, that's I don't know, man. The virtual reality is real, man.
Like I said, they're making moves.
Now, so here's the thing about Project Morpheus. They talked about 2016, the first half of 2016 for Sony. Here's the thing: the prototype right now is running at a 1080p, and it's an OLED screen, and it's let me see, 1920 by RGB by 1080, which removes motion blur, and all pixels now RGB subpixels. That's gonna be kind of sick. And not only that, it has a 120 hertz refresh rate. And something else that was also revealed about that too, speaking of that, apparently the Sony PlayStation 4 is capable of running at 120 frames per second, but it hasn't been enabled yet. So instead of 60 frames per second, which is like the norm for consoles. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Something that was.
So you can have a really smooth game.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's PC level stuff that like nobody knew. Apparently that was a secret in Sony, which is built in there. I mean, that's obviously the more powerful system now.
Is it that the game devs don't know, so they haven't been making games at 120 or what? Because if it's there, I would take advantage of that.
Apparently, I don't know. I don't know, man. I couldn't tell you about that. I'm trying to figure out where I found the article of that. I don't know where. I know I saw it. I know I saw it on one of these links because I have way too many links open right now. And of course, it's happening. This is reality. And I don't know when Microsoft's still going to announce this because their augmented reality, which is way different from even the virtual reality, is just not even going to be released yet. It's still in the prototype. What?
I was going to be like, is it reality or is it virtual reality? But I'm a loser, so, you know.
But you know what? That reminds me of that South Park episode. You ever see that one with the virtual reality?
that episode, I was just like, what's going on?
Oh, man, the customer service. Customer service dude. Remember that? But
you can't make a customer service call in virtual reality.
Oh, man. You got to check that episode out if you're really
That was a funny episode.
But now, I mean, virtual reality is happening, man. I just want to be able to try it. That's the one thing. I need to be able to see the reality. I want to be able to see what it's all about. I want to be able to know what it's all about. If not, then, I mean, why am I going to blindly spend money on something that I really don't know what it's fully about yet and what's the capabilities of it? Even though, yes, there's videos of people playing the game, but what does it send to me watching the YouTube video of the people playing a game on split screen? Because that's what it is. You just see 2 like screens of the same thing, which is basically like the person's eyes viewing this game. And I mean, what's the point of seeing that? And that's not an experience for me. I need to be able to see it myself and see how I feel towards it.
Yeah, I need to be able to actually see for myself and see how it works out and everything.
Yeah.
Because there's also like the VR gloves and stuff where it's like, I don't know, it's so cool. I definitely want to try this out one day.
Hell yeah, definitely. It was better than the virtual reality when I was younger, where it was all polygons and like super slow. And I never tried it myself, but I remember it's basically, think of a crappier Mario 64. That's what the graphics are like back then for virtual reality. And
polygons.
It was bad. It was bad, and then it died out very quickly. But it's coming back. I mean, it's got the graphics to do it, and maybe that's going to be the next step for consoles.
Maybe.
Now, one final thing about it, Valve again. We talked about this in the year review. When the hell are these Steam machines coming out? And then we kind of thought maybe they're going to forget about it. Maybe they're just quietly trying to kill the Steam machine. No, it's got some prices. It's got a release date. They're coming.
Finally.
All right. So their first model is going to come bundled with the Steam controller that's coming from Alienware. The bundle is priced at $450, which is not bad considering. Now, not only that, it's come with the controller. The controller's final too, which I don't know. I mean, you've seen the controller too. I mean, what did you think about the controller itself? The final controller, because remember, they went through so many versions of the controller, and now it's like, okay, this is the final version, and it's like...
I don't like it.
I mean, it has a stick, but only one stick. The other stick is basically the haptic feedback, but that's about it.
Not pretty.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's something to get used to. I don't know, because I don't know, man. Now, of course, that's the cheapest model, which I don't know how many games that'll play, but I guess it'll play a decent amount of games if it's $450. But of course, there's other machines ranging from $1,100 to $2,000. You know, that's not bad.
Yeah, okay, that's not too bad.
Apparently, the specs are really high on that. Of course, the controller itself has this final version of it, and that's going to be selling for $50, which is about the average price of a controller right now.
Yeah,
anyway.
Just about.
Yeah. Now, the controller itself, I want to still try it. Like I said, I'm not really sold on that controller so much. I still like my 360 controller if I'm actually going to play PC games. If not, then a mouse and keyboard will do suffice.
I'm just mouse and keyboard. I don't even try the 360 controller.
One last thing about Valve. There's a couple of things. 2 more stories about that. They unveiled Source 2, the new engine at GDC. Source 2 is the successor, of course, to Source, which has been used for basically every game Valve has developed. So now there's Source 2, but there's nothing about Half-Life 3, Portal 3, Left 4 Dead 3.
I don't think we're ever getting Half-Life 3.
I think we're officially saying get over it, people.
Get over it. I would love to see Half-Life 3, but we're not getting it.
I want to see Half-Life 3.
And if it does happen, it's happening like in the night when no one's watching. Like there will be no like advertising for it. It's gonna be like, oh, here's Half-Life 3, guys. Like, what?
It's just gonna be released on Steam. You're just saying that
it's just gonna show up on Steam one day, like Half-Life 3. Like, what? This is a joke?
You know what? It's
not happening.
That would actually be brilliant. I would actually really respect Valve if they actually did that. Just one day, just like you wake up in the morning and there's Half-Life
3 just sitting on the screen. Like, what? But it's not happening, guys.
Oh, Steve. One last thing. Valve really talked about not only just they're really trying to take over the home console market. They want to be a part of this. They want to be a part of this too. And I see this working. We talked about how it's like, computers, shouldn't really be in the living room. It should be just your computer area where you're playing games. But I feel like it has a place in the living room. But they're actually trying to do a device that will offer low latency. Streaming of games, 1080p resolution at 60 hertz.
Nice.
Which the device would be $50. It basically will come out the same time as the controller. It's basically a streaming thing, so you can stream your games to whatever.
That's pretty dope.
Which I like. I really like the possibility of that. Of course. It could be used between multiple computers or whatnot. So far, I don't know. Probably the same concept of the sharing of the games on Steam. When that's going to come out, we don't know. It's still like an early thing, but that seems interesting.
It does.
I like it.
I like it.
But now here's the thing too. Why the Steam machine, I just wanted to make a point on this. It didn't hit me until like this morning where I was like, the moment you get a Steam machine or a Steam console, if you don't even have a PC that, you want to play dedicated games on, even if you get a Steam machine, you have a catalog farther than any console that's out right now. I mean, you have games that go back to the early 90s.
Yeah.
Even before that. And I mean, you can granted to say, like, the PlayStation has, like, games from, from, like, the 90s, from, like, like Final Fantasy. Even Nintendo has a backlog from, like, the 80s and stuff. But if you never played PC games before, even if you were, like, broke and you didn't play a lot of the PC games that people were raving about, like Monkey Island even, or other games like that, the click and point games, all that's available on Steam. And the moment you get a Steam machine, that's all right there. It's right there. Even if you could own a PC and you could still have that back catalog, but I think it's really interesting if people are going to look into that and get a Steam machine like that. There's some interest there, especially with a back catalog, especially with the new games, with the games that came out a couple of years ago, and then you can get them for cheap.
Oh yeah.
But that's about it for our GDC talk. We hope you enjoyed that.
Yes.
We have some more things to talk about. We'll see you soon.
We do.
Yeah.
Shit.